Have you ever wondered why some people seem to stay sharper, happier, and more independent even well into their 70s and 80s, while others begin to struggle with memory, energy, and focus far earlier? Maybe you've even caught yourself forgetting simple things like where you put your glasses, or why you walked into a room and thought, is this just aging or is something more going on? Now picture this. Two people in their late 70s. One lives in a peaceful, rural area, still gardening, walking every day, chatting with neighbors, cooking with real ingredients from the local market. The other, living in a busy city, surrounded by noise, stress, traffic, and often feeling isolated even among thousands of people. Which one do you think is more likely to develop Alzheimer's? The answer might surprise you. Study after study has found that seniors living in rural areas are significantly less likely to suffer from Alzheimer's or other forms of cognitive decline. And no, it's not just genetics or luck. There's a forgotten secret hidden in their lifestyle. And that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. So grab a cup of tea, settle in, and let's take a journey into the real reasons why rural living might be one of the most powerful protectors of your brain, and what you can do about it, no matter where you live. Let's start with something simple, but powerful: movement. And I don't mean running marathons or lifting heavy weights. I'm talking about the kind of natural, consistent movement that comes from daily living. Think gardening, hanging up laundry, walking to visit a neighbor, sweeping the porch. In rural areas, people tend to move more throughout the day, not as exercise, but as a natural part of life. This kind of movement keeps the blood flowing, especially to the brain. It supports circulation, oxygen levels, and even helps manage blood sugar, all things directly tied to cognitive health. And the best part? You don't need a gym membership or fancy equipment. Just walking a bit more around your house or yard, tending to your plants, or even light chores can make a big difference. Here's a small shift you can try today. Instead of sitting down right after breakfast or lunch, take a slow 10-minute walk. Not fast, not forced, just a relaxed stroll. It helps digestion, clears your mind, and sends oxygen right where your brain needs it most. Now let's talk about something even deeper: connection. In rural communities, people often have stronger, more frequent social bonds. They talk to their neighbors. They wave to passersby. They spend time with family, not just on holidays, but throughout the week. Loneliness has been shown to be just as damaging to brain health as smoking or obesity. Yes, really. Social isolation is a major risk factor for cognitive decline. But here's the good news. This is one of the easiest things to change. You don't need a dozen friends or big parties. Even a short, meaningful conversation with someone you care about can give your brain the boost it needs. Make a phone call. Invite someone over for coffee. Or if you're feeling adventurous, join a group or class. Something light and fun like dance, art, or walking groups. It's not just about keeping busy. It's about staying connected. There's a reason rural elders often seem more content. They're not constantly bombarded by noise, advertising, or digital overload. Their minds have more space. Space to reflect, to be present, to notice the world around them. And believe it or not, that kind of quiet mental state can protect your memory better than any puzzle or brain game. And this brings us to the next piece of the puzzle: stress. Chronic stress doesn't just wear you down emotionally. It literally shrinks your brain. High levels of stress hormones like cortisol have been linked to memory loss and an increased risk of dementia. And guess what? City life is full of stress triggers. Crowded spaces, traffic, deadlines, constant digital alerts. But in rural life, the pace is slower. There's more nature, more open sky, more silence. And those things are not just nice, they're necessary. Spending time in green spaces has been shown to reduce stress, lower blood pressure, and improve focus. Even if you live in the city, you can borrow this secret. Make it a point to spend at least 20 minutes a day outside, in a park, on your porch, or even just under a tree. Leave your phone behind. Let your brain breathe. It's in that quiet that your mind begins to repair itself. Now that we've looked at how movement, connection, and stress affect the aging brain, let's keep going. Because there's one more rural secret that plays a major role, and it's something you can change starting today. Let's talk about food. Not diets, not calorie counting, but real, honest food. In many rural areas, older adults still eat like their parents and grandparents did, meals made from scratch, using ingredients grown nearby, often harvested with their own hands. No ultra-processed convenience meals, no late-night fast food, and no long lists of chemicals on the back of a box. This kind of traditional eating, simple vegetables, whole grains, fresh eggs, local meats, nourishes the brain in a way that modern diets just don't. Foods rich in antioxidants, omega-3 fatty acids, and fiber don't just keep the heart healthy, they protect brain cells, reduce inflammation, and may even slow the development of Alzheimer's. City life, with its fast pace, often pushes people toward convenience foods. But here's the good news. You don't need to move to a farm to eat like someone who did. Start small. Replace one processed snack with a piece of fruit and a handful of nuts. Cook one more meal at home each week. Use olive oil instead of margarine. Boil some eggs and keep them in the fridge. These little shifts add up, and your brain will thank you. Now let's look at something most people don't think about until it's too late. Routine. In rural life, there's a certain rhythm to the day. People tend to wake with the sun, eat at regular times, go to bed earlier. They live by natural cues, not by the TV schedule or phone notifications. This regularity gives the brain a sense of order, safety, and stability. On the other hand, the chaos of city schedules, late nights, skipped meals, unpredictable routines can throw the body and brain out of balance. Sleep becomes irregular. Hormones fluctuate. Focus and memory suffer. But this too is something we can control. Try setting a regular bedtime and stick to it. Have meals at about the same time each day. Create a peaceful wind-down routine at night. Maybe reading a book, listening to soft music, or journaling. These gentle patterns help your brain rest, repair, and stay sharp. Let's not forget the power of purpose. In small towns, older people are often deeply involved in their communities. They volunteer, teach younger generations, pass on skills, help organize events. They are valued, needed, and seen. Compare that to life in many cities, where aging can feel like fading into the background. But the truth is, having a reason to get up in the morning, a sense of being needed, can be one of the most powerful protectors of mental health. It doesn't have to be big. Maybe you can help a neighbor with errands, share stories with your grandchildren, knit blankets for shelters, teach someone how to cook a family recipe. These things might seem small, but they give your brain what it craves: engagement, meaning, and the joy of being useful. And while we're on the topic of joy, let's talk about gratitude. This might sound simple, maybe even too simple, but rural folks often have a quiet appreciation for life's little things. The sound of birds in the morning, the smell of coffee, the satisfaction of planting something and watching it grow. When we're constantly bombarded by ads, notifications, and noise, it's easy to miss those moments. But practicing gratitude, pausing to notice what's good, has been shown to rewire the brain, reduce stress, and support long-term brain health. So here's a practice to try. Each night, before bed, think of 3 good things that happened that day. They don't have to be big. Maybe your tea was perfectly steeped. Maybe you heard from an old friend. Maybe the sun hit your kitchen just right. This habit takes less than 2 minutes, and yet it can shift your entire mindset. We've covered a lot already: movement, connection, stress, food, routine, purpose, and gratitude. And as you might be noticing, these aren't quick fixes or miracle pills. They're not trendy biohacks or high-tech solutions. They're quiet, simple, deeply human habits that we've slowly drifted away from in modern life. But they're still here, still available, and still powerful. Next, we'll keep following this thread because there's one more surprising, often overlooked reason rural elders are keeping their minds strong. And once you understand it, you'll realize you can tap into it too, wherever you are. Let's talk about something almost no one associates with: Alzheimer's prevention. But it's one of the most powerful tools you have. Time outdoors. Simple, right? But think about how often we stay inside. The television, the couch, the phone, the same 4 walls. In contrast, many people living in rural areas spend a good part of their day outdoors, whether they're walking, tending a garden, feeding animals, or simply sitting on the porch watching the day unfold. Being outdoors isn't just pleasant. It actually helps the brain function better. Exposure to natural light helps regulate your sleep-wake cycle. The fresh air increases oxygen flow. And the colors, textures, and sounds of nature stimulate the senses in a way that sharpens awareness and memory. More than that, the outdoors connects us to something bigger than ourselves. It calms the nervous system. It lowers stress hormones. It reminds us to slow down. And slowing down is often what our brains are begging us to do. You don't need a forest or a farm, a balcony garden, a stroll through the park. Even sitting by a sunny window can help. The key is presence. Step outside, feel the breeze on your face, listen to the birds. Let your senses wake up. Your brain is built for this. It remembers nature even when we forget it. Another overlooked factor? Noise. In a city, there's always sound. Sirens, traffic, construction, people. It's constant. And it creates background stress you don't even realize you're carrying. Your brain never fully relaxes when it's always on alert. That low-level tension builds up over time and can make it harder to focus, recall information, or sleep deeply. In quieter rural areas, the mind gets a chance to breathe. That silence is not emptiness, it's space, it's peace, and it's healing. You can create a version of that peace in your own home. Turn off the TV when you're not watching it. Put your phone on silent when you take a walk. Take breaks from digital noise. Give your brain some quiet moments to rest. Now here's something else, something deeper. Rural elders often live in a way that respects natural limits. They don't try to multitask everything. They don't live by the clock as strictly. They follow the seasons. They listen to their bodies. They don't rush every moment. This is what psychologists call flow, being fully present in what you're doing. And it's been shown to protect memory, improve mood, and help with learning at any age. Whether it's baking bread, fixing something around the house, or even just folding laundry, doing it with care, without rushing, gives the brain a break from mental clutter. So here's a gentle challenge. Pick one task each day and do it without distraction. No TV in the background, no checking your phone. Just you and that one activity. Let yourself enjoy it. You might be surprised how peaceful it feels. Let's bring this all together. Everything we've talked about: movement, purpose, fresh food, connection, quiet, time outdoors, simple routines, less stress. It all comes down to how you live, not just what you do. The reason rural seniors are less likely to develop Alzheimer's isn't magic. It's not about a supplement or a special device. It's about a way of life that supports the brain through natural rhythms, genuine connection, and intentional simplicity. And here's the truth. You don't have to move to the countryside to have this. You can begin living in a more brain-friendly way wherever you are. You can add more movement into your day. You can create quiet space. You can cook a little more, connect a little more, be present a little more. These aren't massive lifestyle overhauls. They're small, meaningful changes that add up. And if you've made it this far, then you already have something rural elders tend to have in abundance: curiosity. That hunger to understand, to grow, to improve. That spark never has to go out, no matter your age. So take a moment and ask yourself, what's one small shift I can make today to support my mind, my mood, and my memory? Is it calling someone? Taking a walk? Eating a real, home-cooked meal? Maybe it's turning off the news for an hour and sitting in the sun. Start there. Build from there. You're not too late. You're not behind. And you are absolutely not alone. If this message resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. What's something from rural life you admire or already do? What change are you thinking about making? And if you found this helpful, give it a like, share it with a friend, and don't forget to subscribe for more practical, uplifting content made just for you. Remember, aging doesn't mean losing yourself. It's a new chapter, and it can be one of the most powerful, peaceful, and joyful chapters yet. Here's to living your best life, clear, strong, and beautifully present at any age. See you in the next video. Stay tuned.